Imagine a haunted phone ringing a massive box office success. Could The Black Phone 2 be the horror sequel that saves a studio from a string of flops? Get ready to dive into the latest buzz from the movie world, where previews are painting a thrilling picture of potential comebacks and starry debuts. But here's where it gets controversial. Is relying on familiar scares and killer villains a smart bet? Or are audiences craving something fresher in the genre? Let's break it all down step by step, making sense of the numbers and the narrative for anyone just tuning in. In the realm of spooky cinema, Blumhouse Productions and director Scott Derrickson might just dominate the weekend charts, thanks to the encouraging early results for The Black Phone 2. To put this in perspective for newcomers, previews are those special early screenings on Thursdays that give a sneak peek at how a film could perform before its full release. Blumhouse has had a rough patch lately, with their recent projects missing the mark. Take Megan 2.0, a sequel to the original Megan, which raked in a disappointing $39 million globally, far from the first film's impressive $180 million haul. Yet The Black Phone 2 is showing signs of a rebound, pulling in a solid $2.6 million from those Thursday previews alone. If things continue this way, the sequel could rack up around $18 million in US earnings, and some industry experts are even betting it might hit or exceed $20 million. And this is the part most people miss. How does a film bounce back from such lows? It's a reminder of how unpredictable the box office can be, especially in horror. Looking back, the original The Black Phone hit theaters right as cinemas were recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic, a time when movie theaters were figuring out how to lure audiences back safely. That first film earned $3 million in previews and eventually collected $23.6 million in North America, proving that a well-timed scarefest can resonate deeply. For context, the pandemic changed everything for Hollywood, pushing many releases online or delaying them. Imagine trying to build suspense when you can't gather in dark rooms together. Meanwhile, shifting gears to another big release, Lionsgate and comedian Aziz Ansari's Good Fortune is taking flight with a more grounded vibe. Starring a powerhouse cast, including Seth Rogen, Ansari himself, Keke Palmer, Sandra Oh, and even Keanu Reeves. The film brought in $725,000 from its previews. With a production budget of $30 million, analysts are predicting it could land in the mid to high seven-figure range for its opening weekend. Think somewhere between $5 million and $10 million or so, to make it easier to visualize. Sponsored content. Now, for those eager to know what The Black Phone 2 is really about, here's the official summary, straight from Blumhouse, with a bit more clarity added for anyone new to the series. Ethan Hawke reprises his chilling role as the Grabber, a relentless kidnapper who, even from beyond the grave, targets vengeance on young Finn, played by Mason Thames. This time, the terror extends to Finn's spirited younger sister, Gwen, Madeleine McGraw. At 17, Finn is grappling with the trauma of his past ordeal, while 15-year-old Gwen starts experiencing eerie phone calls in her dreams and visions of 3 boys being hunted at a remote winter camp called Alpine Lake. To unravel the mystery and put an end to the nightmare affecting both siblings, Gwen convinces Finn to brave a blizzard and visit the camp. There, she discovers a devastating link between the Grabber and their family's own dark history. Together, they face a murderer who's only grown stronger in death and more intimately connected to their lives than they ever suspected. It's a perfect example of how horror can explore themes of trauma and family secrets, making it relatable even as it scares. The sequel welcomes back familiar faces. Mason Thames, known for How to Train Your Dragon as Finny Shaw. Madeleine McGraw from Secrets of Sulphur Springs as his sister Gwen. Jeremy Davies of Justified in the role of their father Terence, and Miguel Mora, who was Robin in the first film, a friend of Finney's who tragically met his end. This time Mora steps into the shoes of Ernesto, a new character, adding fresh layers. Ethan Hawke, fresh off Moon Knight, returns as the sinister child killer. Rounding out the cast are newcomers like Demián Bichir from The Hateful Eight, Dariana Rivas in A Working Man, and Anna Law in Final Destination Bloodlines. This mix of returning talent and fresh blood could be what elevates the film. But here's the controversy. Do star-powered horror sequels like this really innovate? Or do they just recycle scares for quick thrills? About the author. News editor. Columnist. Favorite movies. Death to Smoochie. The Big Lebowski. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The Crow. K-pop Demon Hunters. The Sword in the Stone. Spirited Away. The Fisher King. The Shining. Planes, Trains and Automobiles. The Burbs. The Babadook. Summer Wars. The Princess Bride. Mad Max Fury Road. The Game. In the Mouth of Madness. Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Monsters Inc. Amelie. The Crow. Fight Club. Oh Brother. Where Art Thou? Likes. Immersing myself in immersive soundscapes through a great pair of headphones. Diving into comic book worlds. Enjoying films and TV shows. Sipping on a fine whiskey. Appreciating innovative minds from places like Canada. Strolling in pajamas out in the open. Indulging in fluffy pancakes, crispy bacon and leisurely beach walks. What do you think? Will The Black Phone 2 live up to its promising start? Or is the horror market oversaturated with sequels? Do you agree that past flops like Megan 2.0 set the stage for a comeback? Or should studios focus on original stories? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you have a favourite horror sequel that defied expectations?